Guards are conducting a search for the intruder calling your...
May you rest in peace. The end is close.
She has rose-colored hair and is carrying an enormous weapon. Citizens are asked to report persons matching this description to the... She has rose-colored hair.
I gave the letter to Pickett, although I guess it's more accurate to say he stole it off me.
He did? But you know what? It might be the last thing he steals. I saw him just a little while ago, and something was different about him. He seemed proud, holding his head high. Why, he reminded me of his father. I think his criminal days might be over. You did the right thing, helping that child.
Maybe you shouldn't call him that. Child, I mean. He seems more mature than other kids. If you treated him more like the young man that he's become, he might listen to you.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Of course. The next time I see little Pickett, I shall address him not as a child of my dear friend, but as a man in his own right. Thank you so much for all your help.
Guards are conducting a search for the intruder calling herself the Savior. She has rose-colored hair and is carrying an enormous weapon. Citizens are asked to report persons matching this description.
I've got the music for you. Now play me the song.
Hey, thanks, Lightning. Okay, here goes.
You always loved this song. I remember when you told me what it was about. That you had to believe in tomorrow, no matter how bleak the future seemed to be. Keeping hope alive gave you the strength to make tomorrow a better place. I can see you now like it was yesterday, humming the song softly to yourself. Tell me, Sarah, can you hear it now? Are you somewhere close watching me remember you?
That's some story. So, the patron was her fiancé? And this was one of her favorite songs? And it must mean a lot to him. It would bring back a lot of memories. By the way, what's the song called?
It's called Miracles. You want to do me a favor? Keep playing it as often as you can. Maybe he'll be able to hear it. It'll do him good.
Sure, no problem. I doubt he can hear me down here, but I won't stop playing it, just in case. Miracles do happen sometimes, right?
Maybe that music has made me overly sentimental, but I think his music will help some of the people in this town. It's a perfect message for times like this. The world may be about to end, but miracles can still happen if you believe.
Hope you might be right.
Palace
Who
guards are
knows?
conducting a
Music
search
can
for
be
the
a
intruder
very
calling
powerful
herself
thing.
the Savior. She has rose-colored hair.
What do you say, Light? Do you feel like you've learned all there is to know?
Listening to scraps of advice from chefs won't make me an expert. Besides, most of what they told me was common sense.
Well, how goes the culinary?
I did what you suggest.
That is excellent. If Seedy's restaurant wants, you've eaten at Seedy's, and at the best, I'd be interested to hear your opinion.
Why? Is this some kind of test?
Yes. Hey, now tell me, what?
Let me see. Everyone I spoke to.
Oh, would you care?
Well, it almost felt like they were hiding something from the customers. But it wasn't as if they were deliberately lying or trying to deceive anyone. In fact, I don't think they realized it themselves. They thought they were telling me everything they knew. Yes, that's it. It was unconscious, like an instinct. They were hiding something, but they weren't doing it deliberately at all. I'd say the very best chefs, restaurant managers, and bartenders all share some kind of secret. It's like a special ingredient that makes their food stand out from the others.
What a wonderful deduction. You have hit the nail on the head. To think you discovered this answer only after visiting a few establishments. It is as you say, the best, most successful restaurants have a certain je ne sais quoi, a secret something that makes their offerings unique. And finding that something, that is what I do best. In other words, if the restaurant does not already have a special something, then I simply cannot help it.
Then what about Seedy's? Do you think you can help him?
I can tell you this, the chef there already knows his secret. The talent is there to make that restaurant a success. Unfortunately for him, the secret spice that gives his dishes flair is extremely rare. He cannot secure supplies, and that is why he struggles. Let me be specific. Once upon a time, Seedy's recipes all featured the spice commonly known as civet musk. But then supplies dried up and the restaurant fell into a long decline.
You seem to know a lot about Seedy's.
Well, a long time ago, let's just say we have a close history and leave it at that.
Fine by me. All I need to know is that if I can find this spice, the restaurant should start bringing in customers.
Yes, exactly. The problem is the spice is not easy to find. In fact, the only way to acquire it would be to defeat certain monsters. Such a shame. All for want of a single spice, his restaurant is failing. He has the recipe for success, he just needs the final ingredient.
So it turns out this civet musk...
Ha! I'd recognize that fragrance anywhere. You found civet musk. Thank you indeed. It's very kind what you're doing. Seedy's is lucky to have you on its side.
Why are you thanking me? If anyone should be grateful, it's me, and the owner of Seedy's for all of your helpful advice.
Oh, quite so. When you put it that way, of course you're right. I just get caught up in a project and start thinking it's my own restaurant I'm saving. But back to business. Here, I developed this new and original recipe. I want you to take it back to Seedy's together with the civet musk you acquired. The owner will be waiting anxiously for you.
So, you still don't want to meet him yourself?
I'm afraid that won't happen. Not ever again. However, that doesn't stop me from wishing him and Seedy's the very best. Please tell him that whatever happens, I'll be praying for his success.
Lightning, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Do you remember what the owner of Seedy's told us when we met?
You mean the story about his son that ran away from home when the restaurant started struggling? Great minds hope. We've both been thinking that maybe this son of his went on to become a famous food expert.
Citizens are asked to
And that's why
report
Gordon won't meet
matching
Seedy's
this
owner.
description to the nearest
But he still
security
clearly
office.
wants to help out. Let's take the civet musk and recipe to Seedy's.
There's nothing...
Gordon Gourmet created a new recipe for you. You should make it with this civet musk. Do that and you'll be able to save your restaurant. At least, that's what he said.
Why, thank you! This is wonderful! How can I ever repay you? This is incredible! Everything is here in black and white! A groundbreaking dish! I'd never have thought to do half the things in this recipe. The genius of Gordon Gourmet oozes from every word.
Notice anything else?
About the recipe? No, not particularly. It's well organized, written in a clear hand. Wait. This handwriting, it looks strangely familiar. Yes, I've seen it before. These swirls, these bold loops. Could it be?
I think so. It turns out Gordon Gourmet has a secret identity. He's your long-lost son.
He is? And you're sure it was him who created this wonderful recipe? But more importantly, he's in this town. Is he happy?
You have nothing to worry about. He's doing great. Except, I'm really sorry, but I don't think he wants to see you again. I can't tell you where he is.
But why? Yes, we quarreled when he left, but that was a long time ago. Is he still angry at me?
Do you have a message for him? I can make sure he gets it.
Well, how about this? I'm gonna make his dish just like the recipe lays out. Would you be so good as to deliver it to him? At the very least, I want him to try it. Truth be told, what I really want to tell him is to come back to CDs and work with me. Perhaps if he knew that I still haven't lost my touch. Would that be enough to entice him back? I don't know.
I don't think words alone will do it, but if he tries your dish and likes it, that might be enough for him.
And there it is, finished at last. Here, please, I want you to be the first to taste it.
All right. I'm feeling hungry anyway. Wow. This might be the most delicious thing I've ever had in my entire life. Really, it's incredible.
Why, thank you. Although all the credit must go to my son, it was his doing. Here, I've made enough for one more. I've asked you for many favors, but would you do this last thing for me?
Sure. I'll take it to Gordon Gourmet.
Palace guards are conducting a search for the intruder calling herself the Savior. She has rose-colored hair and is carrying an enormous weapon. Citizens are asked to report persons matching this description to the nearest security officer.
Oh, do I smell what I think I smell? I do, don't I? That must be my recipe.
Yes, the owner at Seedy's insisted that I bring you a portion so you could taste it for yourself.
I see. Well, then... Oh, yes. A perfect balance of fuzzy mutton and civet musk. The palate sings. It's a microcosm of culinary delight. A theme park of olfactory and gustatory attractions. And if you think that's hyperbole, I've only just begun. This is even better than I imagined. I always knew he was a skilled chef, but this...
So, why don't you go back there and help him out again in the kitchen?
Go back? Well, what do you mean? I've never... Oh, all right. Huh? The cat's out of the bag. You've somehow figured it out. What my true identity is. Yes, I admit it. I am indeed the son of the owner of Seedy's restaurant. It was a long time ago, but one day we quarreled, and I left the shop vowing never to return. We fought over cooking, you see. But even after I left, I vowed that one day I would rebuild the restaurant. That's what started me on my journey to becoming Gordon Gourmet. Since then, I devoted every waking hour to learning about the culinary arts. After many years of study, I finally had an epiphany. I realized what Seedy's restaurant needed to regain its former glory.
You had a falling out because of the menu? But when your father saw your recipe, he was thrilled. All he could talk about was how he dreamed of you coming back. So the two of you could run the restaurant together, just like old times.
So he recognizes my ability. Oh, but it's too late. I can't go back now. The fact is, I abandoned him in the restaurant when times were tough. I'm ashamed of what I did. I can't face him again.
You mustn't feel that way, my son.
Father, how did you find me?
My apologies to the young lady, but I wanted to see you. I followed her after she left the shop. What do you say? Let's start over. You set out on your own, did things your own way, stayed true to yourself, working hard to achieve your dreams. And now look what you can do. The recipe that you created was amazing. I've never seen the likes of it before. What can I say except that I am proud of you?
But Father, I left you.
Not in my wildest dreams could I have conceived of such a dish. Indeed, if you had given it to me back then, I doubt I would have recognized its greatness. But worse, I wouldn't have believed you could be capable of such a thing. I always underestimated you, my son. For that, you have my sincere apologies.
It's all right. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry for abandoning you and the restaurant when you were struggling to keep it going.
Looks like you two have made up.
Yes, now let's get to it, shall we? Together. We'll make CDs a success again!
That went well.
Palace guards
A
are
microcosm of culinary delight, do you say? That sounds rather tasty to me. Was it as good as you said?
Want me to pick you up some takeout?
Citizens are asked to report
You know what I'd
persons
prefer
matching
over
the
that?
description to the
If
nearest
sometime you made me one of your specialty dishes.
I haven't spent much time in kitchens, but if you want something off a campfire grill, maybe I could rustle something up. I was never as good a cook as Sarah, but I have been told that I grill a pretty mean behemoth steak.
Palace guards are conducting.
Another lost soul. It's your funeral. Time to meet your maker.
For the intruder calling herself the Savior. She has rose-colored hair and is carrying an enormous
If you want to
weapon.
talk, come back when you're...
Citizens are asked to report persons matching the description.
Hurry up. Welcome.
Here's your ticket.
Very good, madam. In you go. Now listen up and let me explain the rules. Participation in the tour is strictly at your own risk. Whatever happens, it ain't our problem. And that's it. Got it?
Per the schedule, the delivery's made from... Okay. There's a foul sea called Pandemonium that labors away in the center of this industrial area. It is the last one of its kind in the world.
Can I reach it?
I wouldn't try. That foul sea is guarded more heavily than snow. Everything depends on it. It's the source of all the supplies that the world depends on. Humanity wouldn't last long without it.
You can't read me. Our tears fall into the chaos. Okay, let's do this. Go easy on you. Do you dream of death? Time you met your maker. Want to be saved.